Hey guys, welcome to the Rise video. um, but yeah, since the last time we've done this, I have fleshed out this userchrome a bit more. Kind of tried some new stuff, and there's some things I like and some things I don't like. But it's come a long way from where it was. So the first an obvious thing I did was dragging the URL bar and all the buttons into the tab bar, where I could end up with a one-line fucking interface for the whole thing, and it saves a ton of space. I'm pretty happy about it, and you can still get the tab titles by doing this, so the tooltips pop up. In my other style, I usually set the tooltips to have a huge delay because the name slides out, and I prefer that, but this is easy and it works. So I'm happy with it. Some other things I've done is I've made the tabs not have the name, just have the icons so that they don't waste as much space, and that's just a stylistic choice and something that I realized I'm used to from having my vertical style, which you might have seen. If not, I might do a video on that later too, but I have a vertical style where all the icons go down here just like this dock and gnome, or GNOME, and the title slides out just like that, which I got pretty used to that, and you just scroll on them to shift through, and yeah, it's nice. But so here we go. I've hidden a few things like the buttons at the end of the URL bar here, and the scroll bar buttons. I'm not sure if that's actually working or not, but you know. The other thing is I completely displayed none. I got rid of the nav bar because I'm not using it anymore. So there's no need to have it appear. And I've set the tabs toolbar. I was doing a lot of this in tab browser tabs. I could move these probably down into this and end up with a better effect, a more clean script. But it works right now, so I'm not stressing it. Some things I'm not happy about are these little angles that are still cut off on the selected tab. I'm not convinced this is how I want to do the selected tab, but the blue stands out, so it's something I can notice at a glance and not have to think hard about, so it's something I haven't really fixed. Tab close button, I kind of got rid of that. I was using another script. There's a nice script on user styles that'll have the close button show up underneath the favicon, the little icon when you hover the tab, and I like that. I like that for with my vertical style. I actually use this on only the selected tab, so if I want to close a tab, I just double click it, I click it, and then the close button appears and I click it again. But I can middle click as well, so it's not a huge issue. And even when I'm on my trackpad, I can just use 3 fingers because Linux and Synaptics get along these days. And there's all kinds of ass fuckery going on to get these 3-dimensional buttons. I've added some borders in here and around the outside using some ugly box shadows, but you know, it works and I'm happy enough. What else? Oh, the URL bar. I set a max width on that. Honestly, when I click it, I generally clear it and type something new in, and as you can see, most of the websites I visit fit within this boundary, so I found that to be a comfortable compromise between saving space and still preserving functionality. And that's just some of the ideas behind what's going on here. The script is really in an ugly state right now because I just kind of tacked stuff on at the end. And yeah, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And this is just the part that makes the tabs small. I think I probably cribbed somebody else's style sheet on user styles. Userstyles.org, if you don't know about it, is a fantastic resource for stuff like this. Just type it in and pretty much anything you want to style, like say the name of it, and you'll get a whole list of other people's work that you can take a peek at and see what people before you have done and felt confident enough about doing to share. So even without going in and inspecting or using a DOM inspector or Firebug or something more advanced to figure out reading the docs, who's got time for that, right? I know I sure don't. Reading docs is probably my very, very last resort. But yep, and here's the selected tab. I mean, to find out stuff like this when you inspect things, here, this might be useful for some people. I'm not actually sure, but just like inspecting the browser, you inspect it, and you right click somewhere here and you go to inspect element, grab your little pointer, click the tab, and you get all of these little lists of things. See, selected equals true, fade in equals true, context. These are all things that you can select in CSS by using these square brackets here. And if you just use the word and it's a thing that's true or false, it'll style it when it's true and not when it's false. And as you can see, this is the last tab. It's also got true on the first tab. That's kind of weird. That might be... Oh, no, because it's the one we're inspecting. Yeah, it's the only tab, so of course it's the first and the last, and it's faded in. I disabled animations because I was getting little pop-ups about that. That's just generally what I do. when something I don't like happens, I get rid of it by any means necessary. And I'm still using these triangles, but I did run into some problems with those. I was using... You can go back and check my other video if you want to see this. I was using 2 borders to make the right triangle, and that led to some issues where there would be a tiny bit of content that would put a hole in the middle of the triangle. So you'd get a nice diagonal line, but right in the middle of it there'd be 1 or 2 pixels that were off, and it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts. I probably spent a half hour trying to sort this out, but yeah, if I change this to red real quick, you can see now the triangles are just using 1 border, and I accomplished that by making the top border 0. So instead of getting that triangle that points in and goes down and up, there's nothing to go up because there's no border there. So you still get the right triangle, and you get a much cleaner line out of the deal. But yeah, I should probably set specific ones for the selected tabs so that they don't end up with this weirdness here and that one there, because it's a different shape, and ideally the triangle would be in a different place, but you know, lazy. Speaking of lazy, sorry, it's been a few days since I've made one of these. I don't know if any of you look forward to them. If you do, that's kind of silly. No offense. I appreciate it. I'm making these for me as much as for you. It's nice to talk, but here's what else I found out. This tab close button from the close button extension had its visibility set to collapsed for some fucking reason. I don't know what was doing that, but in my default profile, and I might go into profiles another day, but basically if you launch Firefox with the command line option -no -remote, it's all one word, you get a little dialog that pops up and asks you what profile you want to use, and you can create here Firefox -no remote, and you get this little thingy here, and this is the one I use for all these videos. This is of course what I've been using for ages and ages. This is my default bog standard from the time I installed Firefox. This is what I've done before I made all those other ones, and you get a completely different, fresh version of Firefox that does not interact in any way with the other one because it's reading from a different profile folder. So that's cool and pretty useful. But yeah, in that default profile, this close button always shows. I might have figured this out before and just forgotten it, but for some reason it comes out and it has collapsed equals true. So I set visibility to visible and made that important, and suddenly it popped up no matter what. That made me happy, made me really happy. And the next thing I figured out was with the app menu button here. This is the Firefox button, by the way. See, you click it and the menu pops down. It's normally got that ugly Mozilla logo in there. Yeah. I set that toolbar button icon to just go away, but you can see if I get rid of these. Oh, it's not working. Well, if I get rid of those, it's supposed to pop the stupid Firefox logo back into this button, but I find the arrow to be a whole lot cleaner and more pleasant. This is weird. In the inspecting URL, the refresh button gets stuck inside the URL bar, but in the actual browser, it hangs out outside. That's... There are some weirdness that goes on, but it's generally small stuff like that. Unless you're using vertical tabs, then things get really convoluted and ugly and not fun to play with. But yeah, I just thought I'd make another video because it's been a few days and this is fun. So I hope you enjoyed it, because I know I surely did. And as always, there will be links to this style in its current state, and if you have anything in particular you want to know, let me know, I guess. Oh yeah, if you have ideas on what to do with this active tab, please, 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 because I have just hit a brick wall and I'm like, bah. But yeah, I would like to do something better than just the stick it in and make it blue. Because pushing it in, I don't think is visible enough, but making it blue looks really awkward and yeah, I just got no ideas. So thanks for your time, and as always, I'll catch you next time.